second time sitting on the porch 4th of July. He hops out. What y'all doing? Who car is this? He go to each car. Ain't no open bottles. You just coming up talk. Well, give me your ID. Really?
Well, what's your badge number, officer?
No, I don't even say that. I just be like, it's number 18.
I got your point. Can I address it now?
Yeah.
Really trying to reach out to a wide spectrum of people, from the average person that the police might just naturally target to someone that's, you know, sitting in places of leadership in the community, or even that's working in the city or state level. So it brings those people in that might not find their place in a traditional meeting setting.
That's where you get in a situation like that, then you have the right to come to the police department.
It happened in the summertime.
We can't both have. Let me try and get something across to you. Let me get something across to you first, and then we'll come back.
And we're gonna let him share his side, and we'll give you an opportunity to come back with it.
I mean, him, he just ridiculous. He like the dude on Boys in the Hood. Black baby cop. He just hop out. You know, I'm 34 years old, dog. I work. I mean, this is what. Just because you see them, they telling him she don't have nothing to do with it.
My turn?
Yeah.
All right, listen. Again, something like that happens, and again, well, I'll put a perfect example. If these individuals that you're with, and you know that, you know, they're gonna jump out because of them, not because of you, then I can't tell you how to live your life, but maybe that's not the place to sit on, you know, or that's not what people sitting next to.
They may have done things in the past, but they're not like that anymore. This is 10
okay.
years later. Cut it out. I know who they are. I know somebody that I'm standing with got shot last time. I know that, but why keep just beating the dead horse? It could be the simplest thing. I have a cousin on the police force.
Although there's crime going on there, although there's, you know, poverty going on there are some people that are doing productive things, and they're right next door to people that might be struggling in those areas. And when you say to them, okay, we're not watching the block against you, but we're caring about the community with you, it speaks better to, you know, to communities.
If it's accurate, if it's timely, it's more likely to be addressed that way. But I'm not saying you can't ever. I offered it to this woman in the back here. If there's an issue, let me know what it is, and we can still look at it. We know your address. I can look back and find out what it was about. So if that's what you took away from it, I apologize. That's not what I meant.
And then block watches, in a sense, which I don't call them block watches, but that's the underpinning theme of what we're doing. I actually call it community cares, and basically I call it that because there's people in our community that really care.
Situation happens that I flip it around on them. Sir, what's your badge number? What's your name? What's the date? They better give it to me.
They have to. By
have
policy,
to.
they have to.
On the complaints, and I wholeheartedly understand what everyone is saying, but I'm a firm believer in Neville. I appreciate what you do, and you're a good officer, but what they do in front of him and behind his back, it's like you gotta catch them in the eye. Because it's regardless of if you report it to Neville or anybody else, the situation is over, then it becomes a he say, she say. My thing is, everybody walking around with this right here, you can't start filming. You standing on the porch and they coming up on you, film.
There you go.
That's right.
You know, because that's the only way, and I'm speaking as a resident in this community with sons, and I see what's going on, and I tell my sons all the time, you get pulled over, film. Because that way you're not getting maced for doing what?
Oh, please.
Everybody owns a phone.
But there's no cure-all. That's a fact, and I certainly don't want you to feel like we're saying, you know, you're turning out all of these, you know, the road cops, I call them gangster cops. No, but I am going to hold you accountable. So that goes without saying. So I appreciate you sticking up for your city boy.
That kind of a situation happens that I flip it around on them. Sir, what's your badge number? What's your name? What's the date? They better give it to me.
They have to. By policy, they have to.
You have to understand when you're in that situation in summertime, it's after work, everybody's standing out there.
So it's important for us to be able to meet, because some of the meetings that we sometimes tend to go to, it's saying it's not all right to complain. Unless somebody has a burning question, anybody?
I'm going to offer my number though too, all right?
Yes,
you
please.
Want my number, right? 860-757-4314 goes directly to me, okay? If I'm not there, leave a voicemail, leave me a number I can call you back on, but,
Try it
you know,
again.
and I'm here day and night, so.
But the fact of the matter is that in this type of society, unless there's a complaint, you never will solve an issue. Somebody has to say, this isn't working well. How do we address this? How do we change this? Where do we go for help? And there has to be somebody that's across the street or next door that can take that information to the person that it needs to go to get the work done. We're reaching out to the community aggressively, and we're going door to door, and we're knocking on the doors that some people say, no, we don't want them in the meeting because we don't want them to know what we're doing to stop them. I'm saying get them in here, be proactive, allow them to know that if they're going to keep up with this type of behavior, they're accountable for their own actions. And of course, you know, nobody wants to have certain things going on in their community, but the reality of it, things happen everywhere. But I think that we need to be proactive, allow people to know the danger families might be placed in. We also want to, before our time is totally out, I have the question that I'm asking, because what we have in our community is some of these young men that have been involved in murders in the past. Like, you know, she mentioned some of them have passed, they served their time, but they're labeled as people to still keep an eye on. We understand that you know, 9 out of 10 times there's some that might change their lives totally around. And I mean, if my daughter Shanika was here, she could tell you the story about, I remember mommy was taking me to school and we rode by this house and I heard pop, pop, pop. And I never knew she knew I shot at a house to try to get some. So those things happen in our families, and by the grace of God, some of us get out of those situations. And here I am 30 years later, I would never pick up a gun to do anything. But some of these young men are doing 10, 15, 20 years in jail, and they're coming home and they're still being harassed by the officers in the neighborhood. And guess what? Some of those officers weren't even around when they went to jail. So somebody in the department is giving them the information.
They may involve people that, I mean, there's information, you say harassed, and I say
That's what it looks
15
like.
years, if somebody did 15 years, they came out. Most of our department right now, most of the guys here don't have 15 years.
That's
now.
what I'm
So,
saying.
and the people that are left, I'm one of the older dudes in the place. There's not many people in my generation that are out there that know people 15 years ago that were in prison that they're gonna say, listen, go after this person, target that person. Again, it plays into, there's times and there's individuals that come out of situations that would correct their lives, but then they still be involved. So there's.
I know even to a degree, expect people to know this isn't right, this is wrong, this is what happens. But when it comes to survival mode, some of that stuff goes totally out the window. It did for me years ago. So I'm just thankful that somebody at some point came and said, you know what, here's some more information. And that more information led me to be the woman that I am today. I want to give that back to the people in my community.
We are very fortunate. I think Andrew would agree to have Evelyn Richardson as the community organizer at Heart, working with Hartford Communities That Care. We've been collaborating for a few months now, really trying to get the block watches going, really trying to make sure that we kind of reinvigorate the community by getting them engaged in important issues like public safety, and really taking back on a number of issues, public safety, education, and others in terms of transforming this neighborhood and really being able to do what I know it's always been capable of doing. And so it's great to see the turnout, and we're fully committed to working with Andrew and working with his community to provide the resources they need. Evelyn Richardson will be joining our team full-time shortly. We hope to have other resources available to make sure that those things that you want to see done in your community come to life.
Thanks.
Thanksgiving. What that really speaks to, what it speaks to me, is the concern that everybody have here, that it's important enough for you to be here the night before Thanksgiving, when you know you got turkeys in the oven and all that kind of stuff, and tending to family's business and everything. But listen, folks, it's really important to stay connected on this kind of work and everything else. Evelyn is a great leader inside our community. She's really doing a lot of tremendous work, banging on doors like Terry and others in this room. and trying to make some things happen.
My name is Neville Brooks. I'm the Deputy Chief of Central District and the North District. And I was invited here to speak to the community group, which I think is a great idea. We need to build relationships, keep relationships going with the community, share information, and I welcome the opportunity to come back and speak.
So today we had a meeting. It's the Enfield-Mansfield Block Watch. This meeting was critically important because we really engaged residents to bring their concerns and issues to city government, and we were able to get responses from the mayor and other city leaders. The head of the Department of Public Health and Safety was here, along with Deputy Chief Brooks. I think it was a great opportunity for residents to bring their concerns directly to those people who can do something about it. Block watches are a very critical aspect of building community, and so we've been working with Hartford Communities That Care, Hartford Areas Rally Together, and Hartford Communities That Care have been partnering up to make sure that we reinvigorate the idea of block watches and really being able to provide the kind of technical assistance and support for regular residents in the community to be able to pull their neighbors together, identify the issues, problem solve collectively, and bring about lasting change to their neighborhoods.
The reality is 20 of
And
us
as an adult with that
tentative
family, then
with guns.
you also have an obligation to educate.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to.
So he's right. They are right. We are right. We have to take some degree of accountability for some of our children that are getting involved.